Let's get into this party topic, because we were going to do a different party topic that sort of went along with what you were just talking about. Touching and sentimental games and things like that. Get real sad in here. We're going to cry in front of everyone. But PlayStation was like, nah, fam. That is not what you're going to be. That's not what you're going to be talking about today. So they had this big PlayStation showcase. From what I had gathered, just from little things I'd picked up, I didn't expect to see much, or like, I don't know what I expected. Honestly. But oh man, let's just go ahead and start. I'm going to go to this website here that has this whole showcase rundown. Okay, we started off with, show starts. They're like, welcome to the PlayStation, blah, 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 blah. And then a teaser trailer happens.
Boy, that was... Huh.
Star Wars... Yeah, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. Hot damn. I don't expect this to be around anytime soon. This is a very far away game. But what I love too, the little interview they did after, it's like still part of the PlayStation stream, and they asked the guy, they're like, "Is this like a real remake, or like what are you guys doing?" And then the dev just gives this like shitty non-answer answer, and I was like, "Fuck off! What is the point of this? Either answer the damn question or don't." Like, this is stupid. He's like, well, we want to keep it realistic, like back to what it was, but like also with updating the graphics." So basically, you didn't answer the question, because the question was, is it a remake, or are you just like actually just retexturing everything? So
like, I did take it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But I see where you're coming from on it.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing about it is, number one, somebody definitely crapped my pants when I was watching that trailer.
Somebody crapped your pants?
Yeah, somebody
Whoops.
did. I have no idea who it was, but I'm searching for that somebody.
Yeah, it's a real son of a bitch.
So the funny thing to note about it, and it actually kind of irked me watching the interview after, because they're like, hey, so yeah, this is a dev from Aspire Studios. You might know them from doing other Star Wars stuff before.
You're just training.
They mentioned that, but it's almost like a setup for failure, and it makes me a little wary. I don't want to be wary. I'm going to say that right now for everybody watching.
I don't think you need to be that worried about it. I think them doing all those other ports is just practice and like getting used to the stuff.
But like, okay, so they actually have worked with LucasArts for not just Star Wars. So they worked with LucasArts for Stubbs the Zombie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's that's more alarming than yeah.
They did Stubbs. They did Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Knight 1 Academy, along with Republic Commando. These are all games that are not at all taxing. These were games that were not really remade. Those, in particular, were remasters, and he straight up said in the interview that this is a remake.
True.
And we should expect it to, be like what he said made it sound like I should expect Mass Effect Legendary Edition,
which is
that
not
is what I like.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, at least, but they got to change the like actual gameplay, because we can't play a game that old like that, even if it has new shiny everything. We are not going to be able to play that game that way. So they're going to have to update all that shit. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Like, as soon as it happened and I saw the Lucasfilm logo, I was like, it's KOTOR. It's fucking KOTOR. Very excited. What a way to start the show. Just a little teaser trailer just to be like, yeah, that's what this is going to be like. Where did we go from here? We went to Project Eve, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was directly to that. Yeah, Project Eve, which was my favorite thing to look at this whole time. So Project Eve is created by who was it? The Korean developer Shift Up, which, like I put in the notes here, they made the most non-Capcom game, the most non-Capcom game they could dream up, because it is the perfect mashup of Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, with like the environments of Nier and pretty much the enemies of a Resident Evil or a Bloodborne.
Yeah, I was gonna say very cool Soulsy. Yeah,
yeah. Absolutely gorgeous character designs, though. The enemies look crazy. It looked surprisingly violent.
It did.
Because at first it's like, okay, this is looking way too much like Bayonetta. Okay, this is looking way too much like Scarlet Nexus. Okay, this is looking way too much. And then it got to a point where the main character gets picked up by an enemy that's like 10 times her size and has a chainsaw head, and he like puts her directly into the chainsaw, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's graphic.
But of course, it's pretty much as Korean of a game as you can get. But this was apparently announced in 2019. I don't remember hearing anything about it, but
yeah, me neither.
This trailer was super cool. I think gameplay is going to look very similar to what we saw, even though I think most of it was technically, not final. But there was no release date, and it looks like that's actually going to be multi-plat. So
yeah, I would say too, like a lot of this showing today was a lot of trailers without dates, but honestly, it doesn't matter because the shit that they showed off was so exciting that I did not care that we didn't get a ton of dates for this stuff. So that's just a precursor warning in case you guys haven't seen that stuff yet. I think next was the Teeny Tina.
I think so.
I'm looking at IGN's thing, and of course they don't have it in the order in which it appeared. They just kind of have it all jumbled together. So bear with me here.
I think this part was right, though. I think so.
Yeah. So they showed Tiny Tina. Borderlands, Dungeons and Dragons. That's what that is. That same juvenile humor in there. I'm slightly intrigued with the way that it looks, but I really dislike Borderlands humor. I think it's childish and stupid and for babies.
I think there's definitely a time and place for it, but at the same time, like I've already played so much of that I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
But the trailer itself was actually pretty good. Like,
yeah,
their musical
it wasn't bad.
Choice was pretty fun. And of course, it was funny. Tiny Tina is a pretty great character to center something around. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to be inconsequential when there's a whole lot of other great RPGs that are doing new things out there. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know if Borderlands fans are excited for this. I just don't. We shall see. And I think they gave that a date, though, didn't they? Spring 2022. So not quite. Somewhere next. Let's before we get to the bangers here, let's get through some of these other ones that are just kind of whatever. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction reveals more of the spin-off of Rainbow Six. This is what used to be called Quarantine. That clearly had to be name changed. Yep, it looks like Rainbow Six with aliens. That's what that is.
It's one of those that I'm like, I will play it, yes, but I'm also pretty confident that I will be able to play it through something like Game Pass, because it's one of those kind of things.
Or I think Ubisoft has Ubisoft has some sort of subscription thing that you can do that with as well, just like EA Play Pro or whatever. So I mean, that wouldn't be like around that time that game comes out. I'm sure there'll be 8 other Ubisoft games that also come around the same time. Might be a good time to just pay $30 for 2 months of Ubisoft Plus or whatever it's called and try out some games. Like, I think the subscription model service, especially on PC, is where most of it lives, is like genius, honestly. Like, when I got EA Play Pro, I wasn't. There was like two. It was Mass Effect and Biomutant both came out in the same month, and they were both on there. It's like, well, instead of buying those games, I'll just pay the subscription fee for 2 months, and then we'll be good. So yeah, I'm sure that'll pop up on Ubisoft's thing. We had Alan Wake Remastered gameplay. That was fantastic. It comes out October 5th, by the way. That's like super soon. Alan Wake rules. So if you haven't played that game, now's your chance. It rules.
I literally just uninstalled it because of all the remaster talk, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just take it off.
Yeah, just wait. Yeah, it's an awesome game. Yeah, that game's just fantastic. Grand Theft Auto 5, super exciting, coming upgraded stuff 2022. Why is this taking so long? Well, I was also going to burp, so I was trying to like keep that down and the yawn. Here's one that's interesting. Tachia, I think is the way this is pronounced. This looks adorable. It seems to be like there's she could play a ukulele that's like totally playable on your screen and like a wheel, sort of like how Last of Us 2 did it. This is very wholesome though, nothing like Last of Us 2. There's like Breath of the Wild elements where she's like flying around this open world with a glider. She can like inhabit the bodies of animals and run around. It looks really cool. If you like wholesome stuff, open world stuff, check this out. It's called Tachia, Tchia. And this is one that you missed, right, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm watching some of the trailer now. It actually does look like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It looks like a pretty decent sized world, and
yep.
You're soul jumping into objects and animals to complete tasks and stuff like that. I mean, it looks like just a little bit of the open world stuff that maybe we don't normally see. I mean, like the end of the trailer, she's like walking along a beach and decides to pet a crab, and it gets all happy. Like,
yeah,
that's such a comfort game, another wholesome games sort of situation. Yeah, we do need a few more of those that are open world games that are very high quality.
Yeah, it looks really well done. Here's one that, well, we'll talk about it. They showed gameplay for new Ghostwire Tokyo. This is a game that is from Bethesda, but was from Bethesda. Anyway, I'm so confused about this game because there's been some leadership changes and stuff on it. But it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I'm just going to say this. This game looks like complete ass. And I don't know if I am alone in that, but even the first time I saw gameplay for it, like the teaser trailer when they announced the game, looked super cool and moody. And then they showed a teensy bit of gameplay, and I was like, well, that looks like a fucking on-rails shooter. And then they showed actual gameplay of it today, and I think it looks atrocious. But I know this game is not for me, so I will let Carlos talk about it, maybe. See how he feels about it.
I mean, what I saw of it, it looked like there were some very interesting things. I mean, it feels a whole lot to me like maybe a Breakdown. If you remember Breakdown on the OG Xbox.
I do not know.
It was a first-person game that had you doing. It was one of the first Melee first-person games that you had it like a I forget what it was, but it's like an enchanted fist that just was on screen at all times. Like you could power it up and you'd see this fiery stuff coming up through, and you could just fucking wail on dudes. And it was the mechanics weren't great, but man, it was one of those games that you're like, you know what, this is a cult game. Like people are gonna love this forever if they play it, and it felt very good to do the little bit of things that you could do in that game. And I feel like Ghostwire Tokyo is this generation's version of that. I mean, it feels like it's got some really cool Bioshocky elements as far as the abilities that you have.
But it doesn't
the enemies
look.
are kind of hilarious.
Yeah, the enemies look weird. It's not scary.
I mean,
like it was
there were
supposed to be.
literal Thunderbands.
Yeah,
Like, just looking at the screenshots on. So it is Bethesda, by the way.
Yes.
So
okay.
looking at the screenshots on Bethesda.net, one of the first ones is the character is holding like a green energy ball, and basically there's this like 10-foot tall character in front of them, and it's like Samara or whatever her name is from The Ring, but in a white hood. That's basically what that character is. Like it looks very junky, unfortunately, but I mean I do feel like it's got to have some of the cult status things that might get some play.
I think part of it, part of its,
and I did.
Yeah, I think part of its cult status was how wholesome and awesome the director was, who has now left the project. So I don't. This did, if you're watching a showcase like this, and like pretty much everything's hitting for you, and then you just get, this was just like a total zero for me. I was like, no interest in any of whatever that was. Like they are trying to make it serious and spooky, but everything looks comical. Like I just don't understand at all what they're going for on that. But if that is what you are into, God bless you. Enjoy it.
I get that feeling. Yeah.
Of course, we had some stuff for Deathloop. Just maybe a little too much information, I feel like. Deathloop, not Death Proof. And that comes out Tuesday. So it was just more information about that. I almost feel like this trailer gave too much story stuff away. I don't know anything about the game yet, but it feels like that trailer might have tipped off a little too much of what's going on in that game.
Yeah, it's like, hey, do you want to see what the final Deathloop looks like?
It's like, no, don't show me. A couple of cool little things that popped up here. The free-to-play Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. It's coming to PS5. It is a free-to-play third-person battle royale with vampires. It looks kind of cool, actually. I'm kind of interested in this. And it's free-to-play, so there's no reason not to check it out and at least get a try. On something I definitely did not expect to see today, Radiohead and Epic Games tease mysterious collaboration, Kid A, Amnesia exhibition. So whatever that is, I'm assuming it's clearly revolving around Kid A, the album, and it's like some sort of maybe walking sim or something while you're listening to this music. I don't know, but weird, cool. Let's do more weird, cool shit.
I mean,
it's fucking Radiohead.
Intriguing. Like, yeah, I mean, if you get a good hour or two out of it, and that's all it is, and it's basically free. I would hope it's free, but okay. So it says it's reissuing 2000's Kid A and 2001's Amnesia. So it's a reissue of the LPs in addition to outtakes and unreleased music.
Yeah, okay. And in some sort of game form. So it'll be like an experience. That looked...
I mean, just take it to the planetarium and fucking have it on one of those projectors.
Yep.
That'll be a good time.
But it all depends on how interactive it is and stuff, but we'll see. So for some reason, we are doing Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Lost Legacy are getting remastered for PS5 and PC. If you own a PS4 and have had PlayStation Plus, or if you own a PS5 and have had PlayStation Plus in the past year, you own all of these games already, and they're going to make you rebuy them if you want the remastered edition. So if you want to throw money away, then you are free to do so. I guess PC players, that is its own thing, but I just think it's wild that they're like, hey, PlayStation 5 owners could rebuy this game that you've already gotten for free. Why?
I mean, I can't wait to finally play 4 and Lost Legacy, because I did miss out on those.
On PC?
Yeah, because I have only played the first 3 on PS3 way back when, so that's nice. But yeah, at the same time, for those that have already been incredibly loyal to the brand, that's kind of hilarious. So
it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
this whole showcase though kind of shows you that they've taken almost too many notes from both Nintendo and Microsoft this year. So
yeah,
I think they're hitting everybody with a little bit of that, the FOMO and the extra charges, all that.
All right, let's get into this, what I would call maybe the top tier of this showcase. And this showcase is very impressive. Like, this is kind of wild. Let's start with, where was I? Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy gets a new trailer showing off a little bit of gameplay, but mostly some story stuff of like what you'll be doing in this game. The humor seems fine. Everything seems fine. I will... It's tough because Eidos Montreal just did the disastrous Avengers game, right? Like, that is a complete disaster. So, this is more story-focused and choice-based and, like, action-adventure-y. So, everything looks fine. I'm not ecstatic about it, but everything looks okay. And if it reviews well, then that'll be all right, well, I'll give this a shot. I think that's where I'm at on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, with every new thing that they show, I'm actually a little bit more excited about it every time. I wish that it would be a legitimate play on the Switch, but it's not.
There's no way. There's just no way.
So I think I might actually grab it when it comes out on PC, because yeah, I'm intrigued. And to be honest, like, looking at trying to fit it into a gameplay style, I actually think it feels more like an old game, like something like the original Beyond Good and Evil. It's got that the dialogue heavy moments, a lot of story, but then once you get to adventuring, you've got these very specific missions to play out.
It could be really cool.
I think it's the right amount of stuff in that game, so I think it kind of depends on how long it's going to be. You know, are we going to be doing, 20, 30 missions and 10 side quests, or are we just going to run through a single story and that's that? I mean, to be honest, most people would probably rather just do the main storyline and be good with it. So I think it would be, like, I didn't want to say it'd be worth playing, especially after Avengers.
Yeah, I would actually love to ask the chat what they think about it, because that's the one I can't tell, like, what I can't tell the temperature. I can't read the room. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people are excited about it. I don't know if people are like, this looks like shit. I can't tell.
Yeah, chat.
Let us know.
Let us know. I mean, we know a few people that are still playing Avengers, maybe, right? Maybe. Very few, though.
I know Greg Miller loves it for some reason, but that's that. Let's do this Forspoken situation. So this is the one that Square Enix announced a little while back. It's kind of just like a little tech demo kind of thing that they showed before. But we got a full-on story trailer and everything. This one's written by Gary Whitta, and I believe it's being directed by Amy Hennig, the original Uncharted stuff. Two people that I love their track records. And this is like pretty cool. It's like about a girl who's in, normal contemporary world, gets sucked through a portal into some place with dragons and magical powers and stuff. And the writing seems really well done. I mean, it's Gary Whitta. Amy Hennig is lead. I'm assuming lead of the game, the director. And it just looked interesting. It looks like we were kind of joking about it earlier. We were kind of saying this. It looks like they're like, man, you know who really needs to get into Final Fantasy? Americans. So let's make this a little more palatable for them, because it kind of does have that kind of. It just looks. I mean, it's Square Enix that's doing it too, so it has that feel. With kind of when you're battling and you have like all these things kind of swirling around you as you're doing stuff, like auras and things. Like, it looks pretty cool. The writing seems good. I'm really interested to see kind of a more. I'd like to see a unbroken gameplay piece of this to really get a feel for actually what it is, because it did seem open world, a lot of battling and stuff, a lot of combat, but the story seems interesting as well. So I'm super interested in all that. Yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, it looks like a whole lot of fun. That said, it does actually seem to be hitting all the beats as far as the story goes, because I didn't realize it until just looking at the replaying the trailer here, but it actually does look like the main character is like in a bad place, a really bad place, and it looks like she might actually be transported into this world when she's about to take her own life. And if that is the case, because it looks like it in the little brief snippet before it actually gets to regular gameplay and stuff, this might be a very important title for them. It very much has that Infamous meets Final Fantasy.
Yes,
with the traversal, the different energy blasts and stuff you can do, and it looks like it may be a very long game.
Yeah,
but I think that since they are bringing this modern character in from the real world, I feel like this is a good setup. That they might be doing something like, if not something like the Assassin's Creed series, but maybe just bringing in more expansions that they can play with the fantasy tropes with.
Oh, yeah.
Especially this game looks to be a lot about portals, and maybe, just maybe, that's the whole point, is that they'll bring in some new stories throughout. And
interesting.
That's pure speculation, but
yeah,
I feel like it's such an odd name to go with, and it seems like they really put so much into getting the character down. Like, this is the definition of your next gen protagonist, whether it's what's his name, Isaac from Infamous, or Ezio from Assassin's Creed. This is your new character that you're going to stick with perhaps for several games in the series or DLC.
Yeah, looks super cool. Like I said, Amy Hennig, Gary Whitta. Don't think you can go wrong there. We'll see how Final Fantasy or Square Enix it is. So something that I actually got kind of excited about, Gran Turismo 7 had a release date, and it looks more like Gran Turismo 3 that was on PlayStation 2. And I don't mean like visually, I mean just the way the game is. It looks like they've also, instead of having a menu, they have like a maybe open world that you're going through, more like Forza. It looks like they kind of went, all right, Gran Turismo for the past like 4 games has been very obtuse. Let's make it not that. Just seems like a lot of fun. It comes to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 on March 22nd. So not that long, actually. I know they've been working on it for a while. So yeah, I'm excited because, like, I know Forza's good. I know Horizon's going to be cool. And it'll be free on Game Pass. But Gran Turismo was my favorite driving game when I was younger. For PS2, it was my favorite game. Loved it. Thought that was really fun. It was easy to understand what I needed to do to upgrade my car and do all these other things. Any other time I've hopped into a Gran Turismo game in the past 10 years. It's been, what? What is going on here? Why? Where? How? It's just always very obtuse. Their menus are just redonkulous. But this looks more dialed back. Like they understand that they've kind of messing it up and they need to make it more user-friendly and try to get just more people into these games. So, looks great. If you want to show off...
Yeah, like you don't have to be a member of the group.
Yeah, if you want to show off how cool your next-gen console is, show off a car game. That's how you do it, because it all looks real pretty. So then we get to the Marvel portion of our segment, besides what we were talking about earlier. Insomniac did some stuff. They gave us 2 teasers. This is just fucking ridiculous. First one they did, they teased Marvel's Wolverine with blood and everything from Insomniac, who's been on a roll, absolutely crushing everything in its path. Spider-Man, both the Spider-Man games are great. Ratchet and Clank games are great. Sunset Overdrive is great. They're making a fucking Wolverine game. And I don't know if you played the other Wolverine game that was a while back. Was that Origins? I can't remember what that was. But it was made by Raven, I think.
There was the Wolverine Origins. Before that was the Revenge of something on like GameCube and stuff.
Okay.
That was.
I'm talking about after that. There was a good one that came out from Raven, the people that work for Call of Duty, and as Wolverine would take damage, like pieces of him would be like you would start seeing like his rib cage because he's getting so damaged. But then he would regenerate because he's fucking Wolverine. So just imagine that on a PlayStation 5 made by Insomniac, where they just made the prettiest looking game I've ever seen in my life. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It's stupid. This is going to be dumb cool. I don't even really understand that announcement. I'm just like, what? That's real?
Wolverine is at least 2023, though. At least 2023.
No, probably later, because there was another announcement from Insomniac Games.
Yeah.
They did say that Wolverine is super early in development. The other teaser they gave was sounded like Russian guy kind of talking to the Peter Parker and the Morales, and so you're seeing the 2 Spidey-Mans.
Obscure heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing the 2 Spider-Mans there, and then they're looking down this alley, and then you start hearing a really creepy voice, and it's Venom, and it's a Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac, 2023, and that's why I would say that it is going to be longer for Wolverine. We're probably looking at 2024, 2025 maybe. But it's fucking cool that they're working on these 2 games. Somebody's like, 2023, that's so long from now. And I was watching the Giant Bomb stream, and they're like, that's 16 months from now. So think about that. It's not that far.
I mean, so I had to look it up while we were talking about it. But yeah, sometime since they were bought out by Insomniac has grown to between 275 and 325 employees. Ooh. So they can definitely be working on 2 games at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, because they put a whole lot into Miles Morales, obviously.
Yes.
At the same time they were doing Ratchet and Clank. So
yep,
they can do this shit.
Yeah, and it's just they've got to be one of the most impressive game studios in the world right now, with the quality of stuff they're putting out. And to go from all the goodwill they have built up with the Spider-Man series so far, and now they're like, hey, we're making Wolverine. It's just like, that's fucking... It's unbelievable, honestly. It's like, that's fantastic. And I'm finally starting to feel like Marvel games is starting to get to a good place. Besides, the Avengers disaster. If they are doing like narrative based or like things like that, those seem to be working well. And they're not creating a universe or anything like that in that, but they are just, besides the huge myths of Avengers, I feel like they're doing a pretty good job of getting their shit together on that end and making high quality products for us. So,
I mean, they've started picking the right people. That's the biggest thing. And I do want to put this out into the ether as something that people can bet on. Magneto Game. It is going to be announced by the time Wolverine comes out. Guarantee it.
You think Magneto Game, huh? What if Magneto's in Midnight Suns? Does that count?
I mean, he's gonna be in there. But Magneto is in Insomniac's wheelhouse, 110%. So that said, he could also just straight up appear in Wolverine, but he needs his own game.
Come on. So not to be outdone with all these teasers and kind of gameplay things where we weren't getting a ton of, we weren't getting a big juicy something. Then they ended the conference with a 3-minute long God of War Ragnarok trailer. Woo! Oh my God. Here we are.
Great fire.
Insanity. Can't believe we're here. God of War is one of the best games I've ever played. The remake, or the, I don't know what you call that, reboot.
Technically, yeah.
This game looks phenomenal. They got, there's going to be a Thor in there. That's the guy from Sons of Anarchy is playing Thor. Opie. It just looks, if you loved God of War, this is more of that and prettier. It just, like, the level of detail, like you were saying in some of our chats, is just wild. Like, looking at all the little glyphs in his axe while it's on his back in the middle of a bunch of shit happening is just insane.
The internet I'm running on right now is super crappy, and I'm pretty sure I was watching in 720 and I was still like, Jesus Christ, there's so much detail that they put into this. Like, if you've got a home theater system, Jesus, just invite me over to watch you play God of War. I mean, it's gonna be so good.
It's such a great game. And now it makes me, once we find out a date, and what I will say is we didn't get a date, but there is a little tease right at the end of the trailer. The little girl says, "I bet you want all the answers right now," and then, or something like that. And she turns around and she says, "You'll get some soon," and winks at the camera and then walks away. So that means, I would assume, very soon we will hear a release date for God of War Ragnarok, because that was a pretty beefy trailer. Like, this game's almost done kind of trailer. So yeah, can't be more excited about that game. I want to, once I find out a date of the release, probably a month before, I think I'll go back and play through God of War again.
The funniest thing, it is going to be in direct competition with Breath of the Wild 2. It has to be. That's the whole point of this.
When is Breath of the Wild 2's release date?
It's not sure, but it's going to be fall next year.
That would make a lot of sense.
It's going to be fall next year.
Yeah. Moving
fall
units.
22, fucking killer, just absolute juggernauts of fucking games.
Move them units for them holidays.
Right there. Yes.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. That sounds like yes, I would agree with you. Holiday next year, that sounds like a perfect time for God of War to come out. I gotta say, that was one hell of a presentation today. After like not expecting much of anything, to get all of that, it was like, damn. I think Aaron Jackson made the poster. He's like, all right, damn, Sony, chill. Like, just calm down. Like, you didn't have to unload all that on us at once.
Like, because I'm a Twitter fiend, I'm there way more than I'm not there. And, people were talking about it a little bit all week, but almost everybody was overshadowing the PlayStation showcase with the possibility of a Nintendo Direct. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know what there is to get psyched about for PlayStation, because everything seems so far away. And what we saw most of that is still far away. But
I would counter to that. Deathloop is out Tuesday. That's a timed exclusive. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is a week after, which is only PlayStation 5 and PC. So they're really starting to stack some stuff that is only on PS5. Like they're really like,
that's true.
When everybody's like, "There's no games," it's like, okay. Because Ratchet and Clank is great, Returnal's great. They're getting there. Another little piece of news that might be fun for some people that I thought was interesting. I saw it like right after the conference ended. AEW, the wrestling promotion, has a game that they've been working on for a while. It's made by Ukes, who made WWF No Mercy on the N64. So the best wrestling games of our youth that we all remember playing and having a great time with. That company is making AEW's wrestling game. And they just showed like a little, like kind of teaser of some gameplay. It looks pretty good. Like you can tell it's early, but it's like, this might be fun. This might be something fun. So I'm sure that's a 2020, maybe into 2022, maybe 2023 game. But because Ukes isn't a big studio anymore. So, and AEW is just being like, yeah, all of our roster is going to be in it. And they have like 117 people right now that are on roster, and they keep adding more. But they're making money hand over fist. So I'm sure they'll start helping speed along that production. Kenny Omega, their champion, is a huge gamer. Is good friends with Mega Ran. Plays a lot of video games. And he's like lead on it. Like he's taking the lead on it. So I'm hoping that, as somebody who plays games and is like a big Final Fantasy fan, his finishing move is called the One-Winged Angel. So I would hope that they would keep it, they're not going to release something that sucks to play, which has been kind of the problem with any wrestling game for a while. It's like, yeah, it's a sim, but it's fucking sucks and it's buggy, like, so
we got all the character intros for every single one of your wrestlers.
Well, they have to have all the licensing and the music, and it's gonna be, it's looking pretty good. Like you could tell from the like the little thing that they posted today. I think it was on BR Gaming. I saw it on Bleacher Report Gaming. They had a little Instagram post of a character model. They kind of spun it around. It looks pretty good. Carlos, you want to let the people know where they can find us?
Yes, everybody listening or watching to this podcast, well, you can go to anchor.fm and search for Party Invite if you just want to deal with the audio podcast. But really, for everything, you need to go to www.partyinvite.games. You'll find blog posts, you'll find links to our community on Facebook and Discord, and you'll find our YouTube and Twitter and all that lovely stuff. Of course, our YouTube has our party topics every week, and we're trying to get some more new short videos out, if you're familiar with YouTube Shorts, as well as some more unique content. So definitely keep a lookout.
Like and subscribe. Hit that bell.
Please do, yes.
Give us a follow. Tell your mothers, your fathers, your aunties, your uncles, your grandmas, your grandpas, your friends. Tell everyone.
Yeah, and we're 2 followers away on Twitch here from 100. So it would be nice to just have that. if you really like us, tell
Just-
somebody
just-
to come by.
Pop in there and just tell them. Use the Amazon one. It's free.
That's right.
All right. That's going to do it for us, y'all. Thanks for hanging. We will catch you next time.